The main emphasis of the project basically is to restore degraded landscapes in southern Africa, and these are semi-arid areas where we have interest to work in, and basically is to make sure that communities also in that area benefit from the project itself, which is a livelihood project with conservation outcomes, making sure that communities benefit and also the environment. We're using a model called Heading for Health model, where we're convincing farmers to put livestock together, and we are doing rotational grazing in areas that are a bit degraded and water is just running like that. But when you do such kind of a concept, you see that water is seeping through nicely into the soil and the landscape changes. So it's a very good concept. And we are also borrowing from a bigger project called Aware, some concepts that they are doing. They are called measures on the ground. So things like soil bands or maybe half moons, that they are digging out just to allow water to percolate into the soils. And that is allowing the landscape to absorb water and bring the water table up, and that is supplying plants, flowers and other things that seems to support life on Earth. The area where we are, we know very well that it's over 40,000 households. It's over actually because we don't have the actual statistics, but what we have heard so far is over 40,000, and they have a head more than human beings, so possibly about 40,000, and that's why we're interested to work in that area. And one more important aspect is that this is a region that is a corridor in the Kaza. So there is disease outbreak for livestock, and so our working in there is to delink this disease from affecting livestock and human beings. So that is a very good issue, because then we are also creating linkages to markets, making sure that communities are getting a fair price for their livestock products. Our site of implementation is right creating the buffer zone, or maybe a corridor for the animals, wild animals to move from Kafue into Chove, Kavango area. And once that is created, it will allow the movement of these animals to move easily. But then we know with the influx of animals, we have wildlife conflicts in the area. So our Heading for Health concept is helping to curb on that aspect. We would like to have the people on the ground benefit from the natural resource that they live with. And in this case, it's wildlife, it's livestock, it's the soils that they play with, and they use in agriculture, things that are so mundane to us, but they are very helpful for the livelihood of everyone on Earth. This is a livelihood project. We are basically looking at how people are living in the landscapes and making sure that they benefit from the resources that they live with around. And so the concept should have impact on the environment that they're interacting with. So that's why we're saying this is a livelihood project with conservation outcomes and not the other way around. And the other reason is that the people that live with natural resources know more, and this is called local knowledge in the area. So our idea is to go there and learn from them how they have lived with these resources for a long time, but then equipping them from what we have learned from other projects elsewhere in Africa, in different parts of the world, how they are doing it. And in most cases, people are willing to learn on something that would help them without really prejudicing them or making them uncomfortable in their local situation. A gathering like this is helping a lot in that we are learning from other colleagues that have similar projects on the ground. What we do not want to do is to reinvent the wheel on the ground. As you know, that GIZ has so many projects almost everywhere in the world. So we know that similar concepts could have been implemented.